And now this. The picture of the day. Stop what you're doing and look at the TV or your phone or whatever it is, however you're watching. North Korea's Kim Jong-un sporting a fur-lined coat, riding on a decorated white horse on a snow-covered mountain considered sacred to many North Koreans. North Korea claims that Kim personally rode this horse up this 9,000-foot tall mountain. Propaganda much? Certainly staged. It also evokes another strong man on horseback. Of course, who could forget this from Russia's Vladimir Putin back in 2009? But as silly as all this looks, experts say this could mean Kim is ready to make some big announcement amid a souring diplomacy with the United States. And Gordon Chang is with me now. He is the author of Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. He's also a columnist for the Daily Beast. And Gordon Chang, what's going on?
I feel sorry for the horse. We don't know exactly what's going on, but we do know that something big will occur. Because in the past, and not just with Kim Jong-un, but with his father and grandfather, these horseback rides have sort of presaged something was going to happen. The other thing, of course...
Whoa. What's the something big? We have no idea. It
could be walking away from nuke talks with the United States, or it could be directed to South Korea, because South Korea has a very important election coming up on April 15th. Kim wants to help Moon Jae-in, the South Korean president. So who knows what's going on here? But we do know that there is something in the works, and we're probably not going to like it.
And why is this a sacred place where he's riding said horse?
Well, this is the place where humanity was supposed to have started, where certainly the Korean nation was supposed to start. This is where his dad was supposed to have been born. And that's sort of like this legitimacy thing that, he's born on Mount Baekdu. This is sort of like Mount Olympus, but only for the Koreans.
Okay. And you're saying we know North Koreans broke off talks with the U.S. earlier this month in Sweden. The North Koreans say the U.S. position didn't mean expectations. Do you think that they will ever give up their nuclear weapons?
Well, they don't want to, of course, but I think that the United States, if it were to use its economic leverage, could do this without the use of force, even without the threat of use of force. But we'd have to sort of enforcing sanctions against the Russians, the Chinese, and the South Koreans, and we haven't shown the will to do that. Now, President Trump had a very effective sanctions enforcement policy through the middle of May of last year, and then he gave it up because he wanted to be generous to Kim. And Kim has not reciprocated. So American policy right now is in disarray because it's just not working. Kim is getting everything he wants. We're getting nothing.
Okay. Gordon Chang, who feels sorry for the horse. Thank you. I needed the laugh. I needed it. Thank you very much, Gordon Chang.
The idea of an alien invasion, of an alien civilization attacking seems crazy, because basically the idea of aliens seems crazy. But the thing is, the idea of an alien intelligent species living on another planet really isn't that crazy at all.
The chance that there is life that originated and evolved elsewhere in other solar systems is certainly possible. There's a chance that some of that life became intelligent.
I think there's essentially 100% probability that there's other life, even within our galaxy. Certainly in the universe. The universe is extraordinarily huge.
In our own backyard, there are 100 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. And our telescopes can see perhaps 100 billion galaxies out there. Do the math. That's 10,000 billion stars. And to think that we are the only game in town, come on. That's the height of arrogance.
John Kerry is a lurker. He failed to win the presidency, made the world less safe as our chief diplomat, and now he's trying to save his long face by sneaking around playing grab ass with Iran. No one in the Trump administration views John Kerry as a diplomatic savior, but he admitted to Dana Perino and Hugh Hewitt he's been playing footsie with his one-time Iranian counterpart, Foreign Minister Javad Zarif, obviously trying to save a bad deal crafted by summit-feverish, narcissistic blowhards like him. There are so many problems with the Iran deal. It sunsets in 7 years when the Make America Die Again theocracy would get to sprint toward full nuclear armament. The deal is vague where it should be clear, soft where it requires turgidity, and so full of holes it could double as a piccolo in the marching band. President Trump is right to be skeptical of the whole thing, and that's why he pulled out in May. And it was obviously a flat exercise in building President Obama's legacy. Well, now John Kerry is forcing himself on a process that is clearly rebuffing his clumsy advances. I grew up with a troubled kid who put a siren on his bicycle and claimed to be a junior officer on the police force. John Kerry is the exact same guy, deluded into thinking he's still Secretary of State somehow, creeping around the Middle East, squirting his tepid ideas like so much moldy ketchup at a barbecue he wasn't invited to. People are up in arms. Paul Manafort was lurking around former Soviet states, lining his pockets in undisclosed adventures. But what John Kerry is doing is far worse if he's undermining the president and ultimately the country by trying to preserve his good name with bad decisions he's all too eager to repeat.
For thousands of years, mankind has questioned the existence of extraterrestrial life in our universe.
Sooner or later, we're going to see some kind of signs of extraterrestrial life. We need to prepare. We need to prepare. We need to prepare. We need to prepare. We need to prepare.
The chances that aliens exist in some form is highly probable.
I think it's entirely likely that there's intelligent life somewhere in the universe.
Today, astronomers are already sending messages into space. But what if these messages are perceived as threats and aliens believe humans are the enemy?
If they arrived as conquerors, it could be the end of planet Earth as we know it.
Is an invasion inevitable?
It's an alien attack.
It would be like Godzilla meeting Bambi. I think there's almost 100% chance that there are alien forms of life in the universe other than our own.
If extraterrestrials exist, they would come from the far edges of the universe. Their vast spacecrafts may already be en route to our world, and there is no way to know when they will arrive. Many think that this scenario is possible, including researcher Nick Pope, who has worked with the British Ministry of Defense to investigate UFO sightings.
There's no reason why intelligent extraterrestrials couldn't already have started their journey. It could be a year's time, it could be a month, it could be a week, they could arrive later today.
There's no way to determine whether they would come in peace or what their intentions would be. Extraterrestrial contact with our planet would change life as we know it. Nothing would ever be the same. The arrival of extraterrestrials could mean extinction for the human race. It's impossible to know exactly what would happen, but scientist Ben Moore thinks it comes down to two basic principles.
If alien life came here, they would be coming because they were curious or because they were unfriendly.
Our Earth is just a mere speck in a massive universe. Statistically, scientists believe that the Earth orbits the Sun just like 7 other planets. But our Sun is not unique. It is only one of more than 100 other billion bright stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way. And even the Milky Way is just one of a trillion more galaxies.
The universe is a very big place, and if you're talking something on the order of 1 trillion galaxies, each with 500 billion stars, it seems like a fairly silly notion to imagine that we're alone in the cosmos.
Some scientists believe it is only a matter of time before aliens finally reach Earth.
If there is life, intelligent life, other civilizations in our small part of the galaxy, we will find them in just half a dozen years or so.
Does life exist in space? The answer might lie within Earth's closest neighbor, the planet Mars. Located over 34 million miles from Earth, researchers speculate that Mars is a planet that could support extraterrestrial life.
In this infinite universe, the chances are that the same chemical processes that gave rise to life will have arisen many, many times elsewhere. One place that we might find life is within our own solar system. There are suggestions, for example, that there's microbial life on Mars.
In 2003, ESA sent the Mars Express probe to the Red Planet. Its mission: find water, the basic substance of life on Earth. The images from the Mars camera showed something remarkable: deep valleys that cut through the Mars rock. At one point in time, water must have flowed here. And in some Mars craters, scientists have found frozen water. There are even entire glaciers capping the poles of Mars. But that's not all.
We see images of riverbeds, even the image of an ocean. So we do know that Mars was once tropical. It was once lush.
Scientists have been able to retrace the entire history of Mars. 4 billion years ago, a gigantic sea covered a third of the planet. This water would have been enough to support microorganisms, except suddenly, the climate changed.
And for some reason, Mars lost its atmosphere and cooled down, and the water evaporated or became frozen within the surface soil. It may have had life in the past.
But if just a small amount of liquid water is still present, there is still hope for life on Mars. A recent promising sign: strange grooves on the slopes of Mars. These features can occur when water liquefies in the soil and rock slides back over it. Hiding under the barren surface of this planet, there might still be liquid water, water that could mean life.